It's Saturday night, Grey Cup weekend. There is Frank Clair Stadium, which is all sold out for tomorrow's 92nd Grey Cup Classic. All's quiet there right now, but right next to it is the Aberdeen Pavilion, and it's anything but quiet in there tonight. Hi, everybody, and welcome to CFL Countdown on TSN, and welcome to Grey Cup 2004. Less than 24 hours away, they're going to kick things off, but right now, everybody's having a good time with the party. And this is one of the biggest parties, if not the biggest one, in town. It's out of the Urban Mail Magazine Bash. You couldn't be here, but don't worry about it, because we are going to take you right in past the red carpet there. Come on in. Let's go. This place has slowly been picking up steam all week long, and now it's going off. We got a lot of fans in here, all having a good time. How you guys doing? Follow me in here. We're located up there in the corner. We got we got some fans over here, obviously. No, okay, who do you like?
Toronto.
Toronto, and you like?
Oh, what do you think?
What do you think? Hello. We got the band playing up a little bit later. It's apparently 80s retro night. We got Gordon Depp from the Spoons, Romantic Traffic. I mean, come on. Oh, and Alan Frew from Glass Tiger as well. So they aren't up there right now because we've got to do a TV show. Let's make our way up. There you can see the boys up on the stage up there. They're all getting ready for the show. I'm going to try and make my way through the crowd here. All right. Hey, boys, how's it going? I got to squeeze through you here. All right. How you doing, pal? Hey, who do you like tomorrow? It's a good time in here. I got to get by here, boys. Here we go. Okay, who do you like? You want to get your play?
I think we're looking at the Argos on Sunday there. They're looking really strong.
All right, Argos it is. So here we go. Woo! Okay, I made it. Ran the gauntlet there a little bit, boys. We got Glenn, Jock, Joe Pow, Schultze all ready to go. Are we ready to have some fun tonight? We're going to talk a little football. CFL Countdown on TSN starts right now.
The Grey Cup final is not just a game.
Just go out today, guys, and play at that next level.
It's a national institution.
You got to come through me.
We deserve to win because we're the best team on the field.
We cannot be stopped.
It's our time, baby. Never give up.
I am unstoppable.
We won't back down.
You can never relax in this great game up here in Canada.
Yeah!
I can't wait. Grey Cup 2004.
And here we are inside the Aberdeen Pavilion, live from Ottawa, Ontario, site of the 92nd Grey Cup Classic. The Argos and the Lions, and I got my jacket on now. Get up there with you guys.
That was quite the end.
I needed you running block for me, Schultze.
You did a good job. You had some major elusiveness.
Schultze'd still be out there. Elvis would still be out there if he came out there with me. All right, let's get after it here. We're going to talk about this game for the next 60 minutes, break it down, and at the end, Glenn, you're going to have predictions.
Yeah,
okay?
Right. Glenn,
predictions. You're going to have to go with one and figure it out. Listen, before we get into the meat and potatoes here, you've all been there. You've all been to the big game. What's going through guys' minds right now?
Well, Dave, what do I always do if I have a big event the next day? What do I do?
You cave it up, Al.
You're darn right. I isolate myself. I was the type of football player that didn't want to see other people the night before a football game, so I was one of those isolationists. I was in my room by 6 o'clock, ordered room service, and kind of just watched mindless, mind-numbing television all night long. I knew the next day was going to be a big day, but I didn't want to think about it that night, Joe.
You know, Chris, there's a lot of similarities between coaches and players. For me, you know, it's the calm before the storm. I like to take a book and read it and just kind of relax and, you know, take it all in. And, you know, Jack, that's pretty similar to what Chris did.
Yeah, well, you know, every guy has to figure out their own system. You got to figure out what works for you. I've always been a big proponent of doing everything you can to shut the game out. So I used to go see movies. I used to go out and hang out with friends. Do anything but sit in your hotel room and stew. That was my own personal thing. That used to drive me nuts because I believed that before a big game, your subconscious would take care of bringing you to the next level. So I wanted to do everything I could to shut it out. But, hey, you just got to do what works for you, Glenn.
Absolutely. I agree with you, Jock. Whatever you've done all season long, continue to do that. What I like to do before the game was to watch a lot of game tape and visualize myself on the field, visualize making that big play at the key moment. watch the end zone copy of a tape so I could see the quarterback's throwing motion, play after play, so that when I closed my eyes at night, Dave, the last thing I saw was the opposing quarterback.
Glenn, you have got to be kidding.
Yeah,
you watched the night before. How did you sleep?
Play after play, so that when I closed my eyes, Schultz, all I saw was the opposing quarterback.
You were insane, man.
Hey, it worked, Schultz. Did you see that pick in the fourth quarter of the 89 Grey Cup? I'll tell you what. He'll tell you all about
I've got a copy. I'll get you a copy.
All kidding aside, it was a heck of a play. But we're talking about the 2004 Grey Cup. Both teams had their final walkthroughs on a chilly Saturday afternoon here in Ottawa. We've got reports, obviously, from both sides, and we're going to start with the West Division champion, BC Lions. And Wally Buono, surprise, surprise, was asked about what else? The same thing he's been asked about for weeks now. Who's starting at quarterback? With our BC Lions report, here is Farhan Lalji.
The final practice of the season for the BC Lions, who looked as loose as a team could possibly look prior to the biggest game of the season. Meanwhile, Wally Buono was in fine form, full of analogies about a team going to war.
You got the foot soldiers, which are the Marines, the ones that cover kicks, and the ones that block for kicks. It's a combat. How's that? Generals don't fight the war, right? It's the foot soldiers. It's the foot soldiers. Great coach that I worked under, Marv Levy, was a great historian and always used war analogies because we can understand that the 3 hours it is a war.
The downside to this week is it's so long. There's so much media. There's so many questions. How many times can you answer the same question? So I guess come the second half of the week, guys are coming up with new ideas of what to say and new analogies, and that's what Wally's saying probably.
You guys are a pretty loose bunch for a team that's about to go to war.
But you wouldn't want us to be, too uptight and worried about it. It's almost better to be loose, not loosey-goosey, but just, be relaxed.
You can't be uptight. When you're uptight, you make mistakes and you don't play your best. You play your best when you're having fun.
Not only will Buono not divulge who his starting quarterback will be, he also wouldn't give up when he'll let the lucky pivot know.
So if they don't know, they can't do what? They can't talk, right? So now when they come to you and say, I don't know, then you say, yeah, right. You know that they don't know.
Prefer to know today for sure, and either way, I think it helps. I think the guys need to know as well, and as long as we don't tip off the media, I think that's Wally's mission.
It doesn't matter to me. It doesn't matter. I'm with whatever these guys decide. I'm just trying to play and win. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Lions rookie defensive lineman Naughton McKay-Loescher will play in his first ever CFL game in the Grey Cup. He'll replace Chris Hoople in the lineup, who's out with a shoulder injury, and will play on special teams. Now, with all the talk this week about the Argos' return units, Wally Buono made a point of mentioning that his team is the only one in the league this year that has not given up a kick return for a touchdown. Farhan Lalji, TSN.
Thanks a lot, Farhan. Let's get to the keys of the game for a potential BC victory. Let's just go down the line here. Start with you.
Well, you know what the Toronto Argonauts have done well in the semifinal and in the final is they've outkicked their opponent. Noel Prefontaine has outkicked the opposing punter by upwards of 10 yards. You put that over the whole game, 10 kicks, that's a lot of yardage. That's where Aaron Lockett comes in. Aaron Lockett had a big one here against the Calgary Stampeders during the regular season. He may not need to have a big one like that, but what he will need to do for the BC Lions, I think, Jock, to win this game is have a couple of 25-yarders, 30-yarders to make up for Noel Prefontaine's big leg.
Yeah, and Glenn, for me, the key of the game has got to be Antonio Warren and the BC Lion running game. This guy is an underrated, underused asset. He averaged 5.2 yards a carry in the regular season, and he's a bit of a sleeper. They brought this guy in as a return specialist, and yet he has proven game after game that he is a game breaker. And I'm looking forward to seeing how he does against the worst defense against the run in the league, that being the Toronto Argos. They can exploit that weakness. I think they win, too.
You know, Jock, one of the things I think is going to be a big key is going to be in special teams with trying to minimize the return game of Toronto. You know, field position is everything. In a big game like this, it's critical. And you know what? It may come down to a kick, Chris.
Well, I think for the BC Lions, more than anything else right now, they have to have excellence in execution early, because you look at the Toronto Argonauts, I don't think they're built to play great comeback football. They want to win it on defense, win it on special teams. And if this game, the longer it stays close, the more of the momentum and the confidence shifts towards the Toronto Argonauts. Excellence in execution early, Dave.
The high-powered offense of the BC Lions scored the most points, racked up the most yards, but they'll be put to the test against that Toronto defense. And when we come back on CFL Countdown, we are going to look at the East Division champion Toronto Argonauts. We'll bring you back to Ottawa right after this.
as Avery sliding out of the backfield. John Avery, 1 touchdown already. Make that 2.
Some sights and sounds of the Argos as they compiled their record of 10-7-1 during the 2004 regular season. Welcome back to CFL Countdown, everyone. The Argos back in the Grey Cup since, for the first time since they won back-to-back titles in 96-97. But they are the underdogs here this week, and we've seen a real loose bunch of Argos all week long, showing no signs of pressure prior to this big game. With our Argos report, here is Brent Wallace.
After a half hour in near freezing temperatures, the Argos wrapped up their on-field preparations for the Grey Cup. It was a typical Argo walkthrough that ended with some special teams work.
That's the beauty of it, I think, is the consistency of our preparation. You know, I knew we were going to be here. I knew in training camp we were going to be here. So this is just, unfortunately, the last game we'll play this season.
While BC's quarterback situation has been a focal point for the Lions all week, on the Argos side, backup Michael Bishop has flown under the radar, as there is no question Damon Allen will be the starter. But Bishop says he's ready to go if needed.
I definitely feel good. I mean, you know, playing in the games I played in, you know, doing the things I did this season, and, you know, playing against BC, you know, both times we played them, you know, I know what they can do and what, you know, what they try to do against our offense. So if the situation permits, you know, I'm definitely up for the challenge.
Allen is making his 5th Grey Cup appearance. However, for the first time, his brother, Pro Football Hall of Famer Marcus, will be in Ottawa to see it in person. But Damon is downplaying the significance.
It's really about our family, and I'm not going to display that right now or say anything about that, but it is special to see him.
A lot has been made about BC's Grey Cup experience, having been in it 4 years ago. However, Toronto can boast 15 players who have played in the big game. But Coach Mike Pinball Clemens says actually being prepared to play the game is more important than having previously played in the Grey Cup. Brent Wallace, TSN.
Thanks very much, Brent. Okay, time now for the Argonaut keys to victory. We'll start the other end, Chelsea.
Well, I think for the Toronto Argonauts, they have to make the unusual happen. I want to go back to the East Final against the Montreal Alouettes. Kwame Cavill got knocked out in the game on a good hit by the Argonaut secondary. Very unusual. Brian Chu, Aaron's shotgun snap that took points off the board for Montreal. Unusual again. And then Anthony Calvillo getting injured. Once again, it's something that normally would not happen. Can the Toronto Argonauts do this? Absolutely, because this is how they've been winning all year long with these unusual plays, Glenn.
Absolutely, Chris. And you know, when I look at this team, I think the strength of the Lions is their receiving core and passing game. So the Argos on defense, to me, to win this game, have to get pressure with just 3 men. Eric England, Jonathan Brown, and Noah Cantor are, in my opinion, the most underrated defensive line in the Canadian Football League. Eric England knocked Anthony Calvillo out. If they can do it with 3-man pressure and drop 9 into coverage drop, they can possibly contain this receiving core of the BC Lions.
No, that's a good point, Glenn. And for me, key to the game for the Argos, how are they going to win this football game? It comes down to point generation. I'm sorry, but Damon Allen and this Toronto offense are not going to, by themselves, put enough points on the board to beat the BC Lions. So I think they need to get points from their special teams and from their defense. And that's Damon Allen's style, really. He understands where he is in the game. He understands just how well he has to play to win and no more. And I think he'll use that patience. And if he does that and he gets some help, they can win, Coach.
You know, Jock, you're talking about the offense. You know what? They've had their challenges as far as putting plays together to generate those long drives. I think one of the keys on offense is going to stay aggressive. You know, call the vertical game, take the deep ball whenever they can. And it reminds me of basketball. The three-point line. If you shoot 10 times, you're going to hit 2 or 3 times, Dave. And that's all you need to do is make those big plays.
Yeah, you're going to miss a couple, too. I guess
that's right.
But you're right. They were airing it out last week against Montreal. They almost had that bomb for a touchdown, but R.J. Soward, uncharacteristically from him, dropped it wide open. It is the Argos and the BC Lions tomorrow in the Grey Cup. Of course, the coverage can be seen on the CFL on CBC. Our colleagues on CBC will be on the air at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, BC and Toronto, the CFL on CBC. We are going to take another quick break here on TSN on CFL Countdown. When we come back, well, we got a little football demonstration for you. Little thing we call the Edge.
What do you want now? What do you want now?
Form good on 73%. He's way wide on this one. Not a night for Borum. 0 for 2. Takes another single. Wow. This is also from 15, but it's dead on. And he missed another one. So he's 0 for 3. This could avoid overtime. If Borum can either put it through, he's got the distance. He's got it. Absolutely amazing. You miss from 15 twice. You miss from 34. And then you nail that for the victory. Zeros on the clock.
I'll go out there butt naked for 3 hours if I had to. If they told me that was going to get us to one game, and then you go to the Grey Cup, I'd be out there butt naked. It feels good to come back to Saskatchewan and get a win. First off, I want to give credit to the Saskatchewan defense.
Oh my goodness! Well,
is it like this? Is it like this every day for you?
Happens all the time.
Oh yeah,
happens all the time. Welcome back to CFL Countdown, Glenn. Football field's a big piece of real estate, 110 yards long, 65 yards wide, but sometimes the game can be decided in a very confined space on that field.
Well, there's lots of those little matchups that go on, Dave, the little one-on-one matchup between receiver and DB, and coming off the edge is an area of the field that can really turn the tide in a football game. So what we tried to do is demonstrate what happens on the, well, we took a shot at demonstrating what happens off the edge.
It is called the Edge. Just 10 square feet. A battleground that leads to some of the biggest knockout shots in the game.
Now rolling left. Here comes Fletcher. Fletcher nailed Fritters.
The Argos 34 defense featuring Michael Fletcher and Antonius Bonner come off the edge as well as any team in the CFL.
You don't see Bonner yet, but you will. Here comes Bonner. He's got him.
So for the purpose of this demonstration, I'll play the part of the linebacker, either Antonius Bonner or Michael Fletcher. Out of Queen's University, number 81, Jock Climby will play the part of the defensive end for the Toronto Argonauts. Number 67, out of Arizona, Chris Schultz will play the part of the offensive tackle for the BC Lions. And at quarterback, basically our target for this demonstration, with very little to no athletic background, will be Dave Randall. So it starts in the defensive huddle, and a blitz is called from the sideline.
Yeah, a lot of people think it's predetermined, that blitz, in terms of where the blitzing linebacker is going to come from, when, where, and how. But in fact, that's something that we can work out between the two of us. I'm the defensive lineman here, and I'm going to count on my outside linebacker to give me a signal as to where he wants to blitz from.
Now, my signal may just be as simple as a tap on the outside of Jock's hip to let him know that that's where I'm coming from, and then I will casually, as the linebacker, walk out to my position, try not to tip off the offensive tackle that I'm coming off the edge.
And now my job is, how can I occupy this tackle to free up my outside linebacker? So I might take a step outside here, make him think he's got me one-on-one. And then at the snap of the ball, I want to drive down hard inside and make him take me and allow my linebacker to come on the outside, and now this tackle's in a bind. Is he going to pass me off to the guard, or is he going to go out and get the outside linebacker?
Now here's the dilemma the offensive tackle is in. He has a visual read of an inside charge, but he also has to have a field read of the guard, who's going to squeeze with me to take care of this first threat, which is the shortest distance to the quarterback. Now all of a sudden I have to adjust to an outside pass rusher, an edge rusher who's at top speed. So I have to literally panic drop, open up, but now he has a great angle if he wants to penetrate to the outside of the quarterback, or he can slap me upfield because he knows all my momentum is upfield and he has a shorter distance to that quarterback. It puts me in a no-win situation if it is executed on timing.
Run away, run away! I wasn't going to give Climby that kill shot.
I was just going to come with a forearm.
First of all, nice composure.
Thanks.
Second of all, Joe, I'm a little embarrassed. We could time Jock and I off the edge here with an hourglass. How about the coach doing a little evaluation on what you see?
Well, Glenn, you know, there's 4 critical points. Offensively, you know what, with the tackle, I think you need to sit back a little bit more. You're going to let a guy go, let the outside guy go. With the rusher, you know what, I think the key thing is you got to grab his outside arm so he commits to you. As far as the linebacker goes, I think you need to come in a little tighter.
Okay.
And you know what, anticipate he's going to come down and come off the edge a little bit tighter. As far as the quarterback goes, you know, my question would be, hey, is there a quarterback in the draft?
Well, you know, I guess I should have protected the ball a little bit better. In all seriousness, the edge is a key area for tomorrow's football game, and they've got a lot of pass rushers that can use it tomorrow.
You know what, Dave? I think it is, and the coach mentioned it off the top when he said that coming off the edge, the quarterback can sometimes help out the offensive line with the way he moves the football, moves the pocket. Whether it's just straight drop back or dropping to that tackle spot or getting outside. He knows the guy coming off the edge often is the free man, and Jock, sometimes the quarterback has to handle the free man.
Yeah, and well, it's no mystery that the pass rush in a big game is huge. And you know, the question is, when you have a pass rush in a big game, what do you always see? You always see the front seven dominate early. Grey Cup after Grey Cup, you see quarterbacks getting swarmed in the first and second quarter. And then all of a sudden you see the offensive line establish themselves. Why? Because D linemen are so amped up. They're so gung-ho that they burn themselves out emotionally and physically early in the football game. So it's how that O-line can establish and withstand that onslaught, and then how that D-line can try to sustain their energy, Chris.
Well, as an offensive lineman, you have to remain calm. And the night before, just visualize your fundamentals. That first good kick slide, that integrity of your cylinder, maintaining it through the play and good head-hand separation. Don't worry what he's going to do to you. You visualize what you're going to do to your opponent. That is the critical aspect, Dave.
It's called the edge, and watch for it tomorrow and all these points these guys outlined in the 92nd Grey Cup. We're going to take another quick break here on CFL Countdown, and when we come back, there's another weapon that the Argonauts have, Noel Prefontaine. Not only can he kick, he can lay a lick, too. We'll be right back to Ottawa.
Pounds, titanium in my shoulders. Man, fearless, baby, fearless.
Look at the Argos special teams. Obviously, Mike Pinball Clemens, the head coach, he knows about the importance of those. He was an outstanding special teams player, a great return man. You know, this playoff run that the Argos are on began with a win over Hamilton in the East semifinal at Sky Dome. It was a dominant victory that featured an outstanding performance by Argos kicker Noel Prefontaine, who consistently pinned the Tiger Cats deep in their own end. Bottom line on this guy, folks, is he is not your run-of-the-mill kicker.
Attention coaches, are you fed up with blown field goals? Have you had enough of timid, unreliable kickers? Want more? Well, soon you can have it. Introducing Noel Prefontaine, Game Maker.
Great job.
Game Breaker.
22-yard field goal puts the Argonauts into the playoffs.
Well, for one, I mean, he's the best at what he does. I mean, that makes my job easier.
Everybody's going to have their own opinion about what I do, and they're either going to like it or they're not.
Consider the value.
Kicking game is 1/3 of our game, right?
and he is 99% of our kicking game. And so that would make him probably about 32% of the game for us. So if you look at one person having a 32% impact on the game, that's pretty significant given that there are 40 guys on the team. So they should average about 2.5% apiece. He's got 32%. So I would say he's got controlling interest.
He kicks extra points. He kicks field goals. He also kicks ass.
I enjoy playing football, and that's the way that I was taught to play.
The experts agree.
Oh, he loves to hit.
He has the mentality of a linebacker.
And we know that, kickers not as vocal or not as confident he is.
But there's more! As an added bonus, Prefontaine can also run.
Oh, Prefontaine takes off.
And it's a fake. Prefontaine has wide open field and a first down.
He also can run and move around well. He plays defensive back a lot in practice.
Hey! You guys saying that because I'm Mike right now?
And if you act soon, you can cash in on this once-in-a-lifetime offer, a 100% throwing accuracy.
Yeah, I throw the ball a little bit.
There is always a chance that Noel Prefontaine could be a quarterback. More apt to happen in the rec league. Sorry, Noel.
Nerves? Pressure? Grey Cup on the line? Kick your worries away.
Clear the mechanism.
Prefontaine is fantastic! Prefontaine cannot be bought in stores.
You know, he's like a pitcher, especially in that game against Hamilton. Like a pitcher of about 3 or 4 different pitches. He can kick it high, he can kick it low, he can angle it, he can get you where you want to be. And accuracy from the kickers is going to be key on Sunday.
No question from both kickers, Dave, because with the great returners that are in this game for both teams, the kickers and the coaches, how they handle the kickers is going to be key here. Noel Prefontaine and Duncan O'Mahony are going to have to try and angle this football out of bounds. In my past, I've had coaches tell me, hey, it doesn't matter who's back there, let's kick it to them because we can cover it. Well, I think the coaches have to check their egos at the door here and say, kick it out of bounds, Chris, even if it means giving up about 10 yards, because these returners can make it happen in a heartbeat.
Well, Clemmy, let me talk about these returners for the Argonauts because they are special. And BC has to identify which guys can return the ball because they're totally different types of returners. In Orland Bruce, you have an A to B guy, straight ahead, right up the football field. But with Bashir Livingston, you have a guy who's willing to lose 10, 15, 20 yards. There's the yard line right there. And watch how much space he gives up. 10 yards, 20 yards. And watch at this point, that could have been a 15-yard loss. Now, to his credit, he makes the game. But look at the football right there. It is not protected. And then a second time, as he's about to get hit, once again, not protecting the football. Bashir Livingston is a fantastic returner, but he's also like a gamble. It's like rolling the dice with him. You either hit it big or you could have a negative play, Jock.
Chris, in a game like this where kick returners can play such an impact, you know, the players on the football team are looking for leadership on their cover teams. And I'm as guilty as anybody. I'm not talking enough about these guys. And you look around the two football teams, you're going to see a couple of guys that are noteworthy. First of all, Darren Joseph for the BC Lions. What a great story. In his 13th year, probably his last chance to get himself a ring. Hometown guy, grew up here in Ottawa. And for Toronto, how about Ray Marius? He led the league in special teams tackles, a guy out of McMaster. And these are a couple of guys who their teammates are going to be counting on them to contain the returners.
You know, Jock, one of the most important things in the game is the first play, and usually it starts with the special teams. I think that's a unit that everybody likes to watch, and sometimes they're called different names. For one, we call our guys the Dirty Dozen. Doesn't take a lot of moxie to run down on special teams. It takes a lot of courage. And you know what? When you're running down for a 40-yard sprint, Dave, sometimes, you know what? Anything can happen.
It's not glamorous work, and of all the assistant coaches, the special teams coaches don't get a lot of the publicity, but Marcelo Simmons for the Argos, Mike Benavides for the BC Lions, they'll have their troops, their Dirty Dozens, ready tomorrow. Time for us to take another break here on CFL Countdown, and when we come back, we're going to take an up-close look at the very interesting off-field personality of Jason Claremont.
This is a jog to the end zone, 102 yards. Dickinson stands in near side. Leroy Simon made the catch, and they rule him inbound.
loss, the Alouettes would suffer at home this season. But they got to get to the end zone, the Lions do. And they will! Brazel takes it to the house. Touchdown, BC.
Critters, time again away from Montfort. Throwing on the run behind the receiver. Catch made anyway. Leroy Simon. This is number 4.
This could be the last play of the game. Zero's on the clock. The touchdown toss. He got it! Simon.
The BC Lions have 2 of the top 3 receivers in the Canadian Football League. Number 1 is that guy right there, Leroy Simon, and the other one, number 3, is Regina native Jason Claremont, a guy who's been in the league 3 seasons, and already he's won himself 2 major awards. He was Rookie of the Year in 2002, and on Thursday night he was named Most Outstanding Canadian. 1,200 yards for him this season, and Farhan Lalji gives us a very surprising look at Jason off the field.
On the football field, Jason Claremont is a throwback.
He has Claremont. Oh, great move. Touchdown. Jason Claremont, a beauty.
He is the Lions' go-to guy when the game is on the line. His game can be described as physical, even messy.
And there's Claremont. Breaks 1 tackle inside the 20. Still going.
But at home, things are a little different.
I used to be really meticulous about, being clean and stuff like that. And, I lived with Javi last year, and he kind of, wore me down a little bit with some of his habits. So I'm a little bit better now. I like my place to be a place where, my friends can come hang out and not be worried about using a coaster all the time, but they do have to use a coaster sometimes. This is a huge feature right here. So we can sit in here and eat and make fun of the guys who are playing video games. I got to keep it honest, though. Keep me honest. Get it to Randy Mizza.
That's made in Canada, baby. That's made in Canada.
Basically, anything that has a Maple Leaf on it, I usually buy. I really love my country, and I try to, buy anything I can and wear it around. If it's got a Maple Leaf on it, I usually get it. Might be the only guy in the CFL with stuffed animals in my bed, too.
A big guy like you over the middle take all those shots when you hang out with teddy bears?
I got to. After taking, some of the hits that I take over the middle, I got to cuddle up with my teddy bears at night.
So Claremont has his game, his home, his country, and his girl?
How about the expression vampire slayer?
Big fan of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, the TV show.
Okay, Vessel Boy. You want blood?
This is my Buffy collection. I got a Buffy games. I got the calendar, the doll, the comics.
What's that over there?
That's the Buffy soundtrack right there.
No, in front of that.
I don't know. I think it's a rag or maybe an eye patch or something. I don't know.
Okay. So how'd you get into all this?
Basically, I dated a girl, and she left for Australia. And the only time we could communicate was really late at night. The only thing on TV was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Started watching it because I thought the girl was pretty. Next thing I knew, I was hooked, and I loved the show. If you ask anybody, they'll tell you I'm a little bit weird. I do a lot of odd things. Playing football is different. I think that that locker room is kind of like a phone booth, and when you put that helmet on, it's kind of like putting on Superman's cape. You turn into a different person. You maybe have a little bit of an alter ego, and that helmet, you get an ultra sense of confidence. It's been what I've been doing since I was 8 years old, and I'm very confident under the football helmet.
Beautiful play by Claremont.
Jason Claremont down the sidelines. Claremont, touchdown!
Okay, wow. He's a great receiver.
He's a great
receiver, but a Buffy thong?
Yeah.
That was a thong. That was no eye patch.
Hey, if you're a defensive back lining up against him, though, right now, you're going, what's making you tick, my friend?
They all be getting one of those thongs.
I think that's exactly what he wants them to think, and so far it seems to be working. Jason Claremont played college ball at the University of Regina, so no doubt he was, like a lot of former Canadian football players in the college ranks, paying attention to semi-final Saturday on TSN. We're going to begin with the UTEC Bowl. That is Geronimo Huerta Flores, who had a big game for Laval. They were taking on Laurier, two of the three top teams in the country, and away they go. The fake punt that set up a field goal. Second quarter, Huerta Flores doing more damage, takes a screen pass, breaks some tackles, and picks up 28 yards down the sideline. Then a few plays later, Huerta Flores, native of Mexico, powers in 11-1, then some more trickery.
Try to run the football or throw the football. It might work. It does. It does. Can you believe that play?
How about the catch on the end of it? And that gamble paid off as Huerta Flores punches it in. It's 18-1 Laval at the half. Third quarter, Golden Hawks cut it to 10, but Laval pulls away as William Leclerc tosses one deep for LeBlanc. Goes in 50 yards for the score, 25-8 Laval. And Laurier's hopes of an undefeated season come to an end. Laval wins it big, and they are headed back to the Vanier Cup using their dominant defense. Coming into this game, they'd only allowed 3 touchdowns all season long, and they win it 30-11. Now the Mitchell Bowl, the other matchup, had, well, we knew a Husky team was going to win this. It was going to be St. Mary's, or was it going to be Saskatchewan? Playing at home, big lift for Saskatchewan with all-star quarterback Steve Belan. Recovering from an ab injury, and he makes an immediate impact, finding Jeff Piercy for an 8-yard touchdown to open the scoring. St. Mary's, meanwhile, boasting all-star quarterback Steve Piniella. Only didn't look like an all-star here as this pass is picked off by Justin Pawlowski, which sets up a field goal for Saskatchewan, and the coaching staff had to regroup the troops over there on the sideline. And it seemed to work. 10-3 Saskatchewan. Piniella airs it out to Jess Machelko, who tips it, but it falls into Atnas Mako's hands. And he just can't do that in a big game like this. Piniella capitalizes on the mistake, hitting Taylor Attilio, the back of the end zone, tying it at 10. Move to the second half. SMU turns to Les Mullings, a 15-yard run right up the gut, setting up Rodrigo Davalos with the field goal, and St. Mary's has their first lead of the game. Belan responds with a 12-yard strike to Jeff Sheeman. Green Huskies up 17-13. Then after another SMU field goal, Belan hits Piercy again, capping off a 75-yard Husky drive. Saskatchewan up by 8. They would add another one, clinching the Mitchell Bowl and a date in the Vanier Cup against Laval this coming Saturday.
You just don't even think about it when you're throwing. You just worry about it later, so I'll worry about it tonight. But no, all in all, it was not too bad. I mean, it's a little bit sore, but nothing I couldn't have played through.
So that sets up this matchup in the Vanier Cup, the 2004 Desjardins Vanier Cup on TSN this Saturday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. Laval, the defending champions, against Saskatchewan. Time for another break here on CFL Countdown. And when we come back, we are going to tell you all about the big hits. Don't go anywhere.
This is what it's all about.
For a Canadian to be in the Grey Cup.
And Johnson gets his revenge.
I've been waiting my whole life for this.
What it means to be in the playoffs and playing for the Grey Cup.
The top defensive player, the outstanding Canadian.
It means everything.
Made in Canada, baby. That's made in Canada.
It's been my dream since day one.
Beautiful play by Claremont.
This is Grey Cup 2004.
Those boys look ready. They look ready to go. Welcome back to CFL Countdown. The big hit. There's lots of kind of nicknames and slang. There's laying somebody out, putting a hat on a guy. Give me some more.
I like decleater. You know, when you hit him so hard, the cleats are sticking straight up in the air.
Decleater.
Putting the baby to bed.
With the Joe, you got
night,
one?
night.
Yeah, how about an ear hole shot?
Okay, Schultz.
Hey, how about knock the living?
Okay, Schultz. Thanks very much. Chris Schultz now weighs in with his look at the big hits and the impact that it could have in Sunday's game.
As he rocks. Oh, a hellacious hit. Oh, what a jolt that is. Oh, my goodness. Look at that contact. And that was some kind of collision.
The big hit. It can occur without warning. Boom! Striking from unpredictable angles, the big hit can produce dramatic results. Injuries, fumbles, and more importantly, a shift in momentum.
I mean, it feels good, you know, to hit somebody.
Not surprisingly, both Grey Cup combatants possess a wide array of defensive artillery. BC lines up with the likes of Johnson, Simpson, Kidd, and Floyd. Pieces of a defensive puzzle that combined for 630 tackles during the regular season.
I think big hits some of them just come to you, but most of them you can anticipate. You sort of coil yourself, then unload at the last second.
I mean, the defense gets crunked. They get geeked up, and you know, they pin their ears back and they get excited, and you know, hopefully that if they get a big hit against us, they get a little too aggressive and take advantage of that.
In response, Toronto counters with an arsenal that includes Wheaton, O'Shea, England, and Bonner. All members of a defensive unit that caused over 20 fumbles this season. The Argos don't just knock guys down, they knock them out.
I like to make the big hits to send a message to the offense, to let the receivers know that it's nothing for free out here. Everything you catch, you will pay for.
It got to go in the back of your head. You know you're going to be hit, though. So, I mean, and that's the part of the field where you win. If you get to the middle of the field, you know, you got to make people pay.
It's difficult to ignore the importance of defensive intimidation. And both teams are aware one wrong step, one momentary lapse in concentration, and the game can change.
Changing the momentum of the game is what it does, and that can come from, you know, linebacker, D lineman, corners. It's those type of things where it's a tempo setter, right? That's what it does. It generates goodness out there.
I mean, what a hit! What a hit!
Hey, here's the thing about the big hits. If you're the guy who performs the hit, it elevates your team. If you're the guy who has the hit put on you, it kind of depresses the team. You got to remember one thing. A lot of these players, they're best of friends. So it's not just the guys that get hit, it's the relationship. You don't want to see your buddy get hit. If anything, it's almost a revenge to get that particular guy back, whether the hit was legal or illegal. A big part of the game, Glenn.
Chris, no question. I'd rather be the hammer than the nail when it comes to the big hit. But how the hit-E responds is also important, because defensive backs may not show it, but when they smack a receiver over the middle and he gets straight up and gives him that first down signal and starts talking all kinds of trash and says, "Is that all you got?" And the defensive back may not show. He may turn around and go, "Actually, yeah, that was all I had, Jock." And when receivers do that, it is frustrating because you just laid it into them and they jump up, get back in the huddle, and it's a first down. You go, "Wow."
I don't think I ever had the chance to do that to you. I think you just put me to bed every time. That's what happened. You know, the most successful teams I played on were ones in which the coaches emphasized the hits to the point where, look, after a football game, you're never going to see a head coach stand up and say, so-and-so had 98 yards receiving, so-and-so had 30 yards. No, what they do, though, is stand up and say, so-and-so had a great hit. How about that? And then they might show a few replays. I love the coaches who actually graded you out. They counted how many big hits you had, how many big hits you took, and they believe that at the end of the day, if you out-hit your opponent, you will win 9 times out of 10, and it's true.
Jock, you're absolutely right. You know, it's not just exclusive to the defensive players. The offensive receivers like Jason Claremont, the kickers like Prefontaine, the running backs like John Avery. Hey, they are big hitties as well.
Schulte, real quick, out of all the big hitters out there tomorrow, who's the biggest?
I like Antonius Bonner. I think Antonius Bonner has that explosive acceleration that really makes a serious impact. There's going to be 1 or 2, not only big plays, but big hits that determine the game.
I'll take Michael Fletcher. I like Michael Fletcher.
Anybody else want to weigh in real quick?
Well, you didn't prepare me for this.
Well, okay.
Barrett Simpson, I think, is probably the biggest hitter for me, yeah.
All right. I hope you are prepared for our last segment because it's prediction time. Prediction time, Glenn. All right. We're going to take one more quick break, and when we come back, these guys are going to tell you who's going to win and why.
We deserve to win because we're the best team on the field.
Carl Kidd took it away.
You got to come through me.
Brown again.
We cannot be stopped.
Oh, my.
We work the hardest. We won't back down.
And nobody's going to catch him.
We deserve to win.
It's all about the ring, baby.
It's our time, baby. It's our time.
We'll see whose time it is. It's now time for some predictions. Now, 2 weeks ago on CFL Countdown, Glenn, you didn't make a prediction.
No.
I think you predicted a tie.
He did.
He predicted a tie. Now,
right
last week you stepped out on the edge, on the limb. You gave an edge to a team. No messing around now. Now we're right in your face here. We need a prediction.
All right. I'm not doing it. Here's the thing. I thought all morning about how I would get out of having to make a prediction. And what I did is all afternoon talking to players that aren't in the game, current players, former players, alumni, and I did my own little survey. In my own little survey of all these players, some current that are on the field in the regular season, not in this Grey Cup, they like the BC Lions almost to a man. And Joe, I'm gonna ask you. You're the coach. You've been out there coaching them up. They like them to a man. They're taking the BC Lions. That's about as far as I'll go.
How far are you going to go?
Your time.
Well, I think Chris hit it on a nail. If it's a high-scoring game, it's going to favor BC. If it's a low-scoring game, it's going to favor Toronto, obviously. Now, here's what I'm going to say. You know what? I'm an underdog guy. And I tell you why. I think Toronto's going to have the edge because they've got the quarterback who's been in the game more times than those other guys. They've got the special teams edge. And right now, you know what? I think that's the way it's going to go.
Hey! Coach Pow with a prediction.
And he wasn't going to do that.
No,
that came out of the blue.
Live TV does this to people, folks. Okay, so I'm going to go out here and say my prediction is the BC Lions, and here's why. Okay, first of all, the BC Lions have two quarterbacks who are both capable of winning the Grey Cup. Look, it's a physical game. Chances are one of them is going to get hurt, as it's happened the last few games. I believe that is going to be the edge for them, along with the fact that in the last 4 games, they've won every game by under 3 points. This team knows how to win a close game, and I believe it will be close. Chris, there's my prediction.
Well, I'm going opposite your prediction. I think the Toronto Argonauts are going to win this game. I believe the BC Lions are a more talented football team, but there's something about this Argonaut team that they have a togetherness, a belief, and sometimes belief in your ability and the people you play with kind of supersedes talent. So I'm going with that Argonaut defense and that special teams for the Argonauts to win in a very close football game, guys.
Should we throw it back to Glenn to make a prediction now? Or
Argonaut, BC Lion. I'll go with the alumni guys in the BC Lion. Who do you like?
What do you got?
Who do you like?
With you, big man.
Yes.
And I'm a BC guy. You know, I got a lot of buddies back home, and they were going to be going, what? And Joe's a former Lion coach. But I agree, Schulte. They've got that intangible working for them right now. On paper, the BC Lions are a thrilling football team. They can hit you in the mouth, and they can score the big play. But I tell you what, the Argonauts are just getting it done. And they've been flying under the radar the last few weeks.
In Quebec, they call that a je ne sais quoi. The Argos have a little je ne sais quoi.
Yep. And we'll see who's right and wrong tomorrow. All right, so that does it for us from the Aberdeen Pavilion on CFL Countdown. Hope you enjoyed the show. Thanks for watching. Get ready for the game because it's coming your way tomorrow on the CFL on CBC. They are on the air at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Damon Allen, the former Lion, going up against his old team that he won a championship with back in 2000. Then after the game, be sure to catch us for Grey Cup coverage on SportsCenter with your hosts Holly Horton and Dan O'Toole. We will have this thing covered like a blanket from right here in Ottawa. So that's it. All the talking's done. All that's left is the big game itself. On behalf of Chris and Joe and Jock and Glenn and our entire crew here in Ottawa, this is Dave Randolph saying so long from our nation's capital and enjoy the game. You are watching TSN, Canada's football leader.